podcast with Billy Grove. To talk about Fence. Today's show is sponsored by Mr. Fence Academy. If you're looking to hit the next level in your fence company, check out Mr. Fence Academy. And now, live Mr. Fence Academy Studios, here's your host, Billy Grove.
What is going on, everybody? How's everybody doing on this wonderful Tuesday? How's everybody's week? My week is pretty good. What's up, Facebook, Fence Fam, Twitch, YouTube, however you watch or listen to the show. I hope everybody has a good, or like had a good week, like I said, and is ready for the show. We got a good one lined up tonight. We got Mr. Shane Jones, who happens to be local to me out of Rotary Gate Systems. But before we get to that, we're going to hit some upcoming events and a recap of my training on Thursday and Friday. So the upcoming events that we have coming up are obviously the FWA Fence Show, guys. You don't want to miss out on that. That is the week of September 11th. And it's really let's see, let me pull up my calendar here real fast. It's going to be the 9th through the 13th. Like the actual show starts on Wednesday the 11th. That is the grand opening. If you want to go to the Mr. Fence Academy Overdrive course, that's going to be Monday as well. If you want to come and do a 2-part clinic on wood and vinyl with yours truly, you can come do that as well on Monday. Both of those events are going to be at MrFenceAcademy.com and then also FWAFenceShow.com, I think. And then not just that, but guys, while Sean's on the way to Vegas, because he's going to drive Bentley and the War Wagon to Vegas, he's going to hit a couple stops and he's going to be doing some trainings as well. I forgot my notepad in the truck for those dates, and I'm sorry about that. But I'll put them down in the description later on. But you guys should go ahead and see where he's stopping and go ahead and get signed up for that. They're awesome events. All right, now we're going to dive into a recap of my training here in Pace. Went well. We had 2 guys from New York, upstate New York, Chris Williams and AJ out of Superior Fence and Rail. Awesome dudes, awesome to work with. And then we had Mr. Evan Gardner out of Louisiana from Gardner Fences, and he came over on Friday and helped out, and that was awesome to have as well. We did some King Plus Shadow Box on 10-foot centers, and we subbed out the top 2x4 for a 2x6. That was a fun job. And then on Friday, we did a demo and replace of 250 foot, 260 foot of wood fence, and we went back with white vinyl 6-foot on centers, 1 single gate. Ran into a couple like anomalies. The old fence line on the neighbor's side, he had his little deck attached to the old fence post, and also his power panel for his pool pump and everything was attached to the old fence line. So we had to do something a little bit weird, but it ended up looking really good. But let's go ahead and jump on to some of the comments and see who's watching, and then we will bring on our guests. We got Mr. Keith Pace in the house. What's going on, Dan? I guess he's talking to people watching. Hey, Mike. We got Mr. Robert Evers. How are you doing tonight, man? I hope your week was great. Miss Susan K. Worley. I'm going to be forever bully to you, aren't I? No, I've never been a bully to just about anyone. Let's see. We got Mr. Isaac Alexander on tonight. Hey, man, how are you doing? I can't wait to meet you in Vegas and check out what you are offering. Without further ado, guys, we're going to go ahead and get our guest on, Mr. Shane Jones. What is going on there, sir?
Oh, not a whole lot. Thanks for having me on, Billy.
Absolutely, man. How are you doing?
Doing pretty good. It's Tuesday of the week. Wish it was Friday, but give it you take.
Don't we all though? Don't we all?
Yep. So
all
I
right,
appreciate
man.
you inviting me out to the training last week too. I was thoroughly impressed.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I hate that you only got us or to see us drive one post. Because man, that was the hardest, most coolest post to watch drive. At the same time, because we drove through, I don't even know how much wood we drove through, but we got it through. But on a normal day, man, we just sink them in about 30, 45 seconds per one. That's awesome.
Well, I mean, you got that one. What did you end up driving that thing down about 3-4 feet down?
4
through
feet.
wood and everything in a couple of minutes. So I can only imagine what you can get if you got just clear dirt below you.
Yeah, absolutely. Will you let everybody know where you're from and where you're out of now and the company that you work with?
Yes, we're based out of Pensacola, Florida. I actually live in Pensacola. We're somewhere around the Five Flag Speedway. And I'm with Rotary Gate Systems. We've been in business selling to installing dealers since 2008. We make a line of slide gate operators, rack and pinion, and chain drive. And at the Fence Show next month, we will be debuting a swing gate operator. So, hey, Michaela.
Heck yeah. Oh, yeah. Hey there, Michaela. How are you doing? Hope you had a good week. All right. So before Rotary Gate Systems, how long have you been in the fence industry, or was that your introduction into it?
No. So I've always been in gates since actually before I even graduated high school. But I started full-time after graduation in 2003 and worked for an installation company installing operators, fence, gates. We did all our own fabrication on gates. So got welding background, custom fabrication, installation, wiring, troubleshooting, everything.
Real quick segue, because you just piqued my interest. Where'd you go to high school at? Because you just said you graduated in 2003. I graduated in 2005, so we have to know that the same people if you went here.
Yeah, so I graduated from Woodham. So
when we even went to the same school district. I didn't go to Woodham, but that's what my school district I lived in.
Okay, yeah. So my high school, about what was it, 3-4 years after I graduated, was no longer a high school. They took it and made it a middle school. So
yeah. I mean, it was like 2 or 3 years after I graduated, and then now it's West Florida where I graduated from.
Okay. Yeah. It's what is that? West Florida Technical.
Yeah. Man, it's the Votech High School here in town. But that's cool, man. That is really cool, man. I really don't know how we haven't crossed paths until now, because I've only left once in my early 20s for 3 years.
Okay. I guarantee you we know a lot of the same people. If you graduated in 05, we're not that far apart.
Yeah, we probably do, man. That's pretty awesome. But hey, I do want to know something. Okay. Are you guys planning on doing any operator installation training days over at Rotary, or is that something that is a part of with another company?
We have been discussing it. It probably won't be happening this year. We're pretty full on events between the Fence Show. Just finished with a boot camp with Southwest Automated in Charlotte, North Carolina a couple of weeks ago. We've got some other stuff lined up for the end of this year. But starting next year, probably late first quarter, maybe early second quarter, we're going to be doing some training here locally.
Nice, man. That's exciting, because I have never seen one of you guys's systems or operators, so I'm pretty stoked to see it at the Fence Show. But also, I know there's only a couple guys around town here that are doing it, and a lot of the bigger companies like us, we sub out all the operators. So I'm pretty interested in getting some hands-on things and you said you were there with Southwest Automated.
Yeah, Southwest Automated Security.
Nice. And what does one of those like training days look like?
So a typical training day, if we get to do it on site and do an actual kind of mock-up field installation, is going to be the post already set, the gate already in place, and it'll end up being installing the operator from scratch, bolting it to the post, either drilling and tapping or bolting all the way through, kind of depending on the feedback that we get from the dealer we're training with, through installing the control box, all the electronics. You're going to go through hands-on wiring up all of your accessories, making sure you've got the monitored obstruction devices that are required now. Then we're going to go over everything, make sure that everything is working correctly, and see if there are any issues with it. I want to get feedback from everybody who's present to make sure they understand not only what they just did with installing our operators, but also what their requirements are for installing a UL and ASTM functioning gate.
Right. And just to like touch back, and this is all like in-field training, or is this just like a mock-up at the shop?
We've done it both ways. If we get to be out in the field, I would like to do, a real in-field training where we mock up, again, the gate and the posts and everything. If it is an indoors, then we've got a fully functioning display, which is what I did in North Carolina, where we can break it down, take the gate down, all the rack gear, break it down to basically a brand new installation. So they can get the same hands-on training, still get familiar with it and everything, but it's more mobile.
Right. Heck yeah, man. That's awesome. So with that being said, it sounds like you're pretty well versed in the whole like training aspect of it. What's a good Yeah. It's a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Getting people to kind of pay attention, especially when they've been doing this for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. Some of these guys, and not all of them, I'm not trying to talk bad about our customers, potential customers, or anything like that, but a lot of the guys get in there and they just kind of want to get their continuing education credits and kind of be done with it. But there are a lot of people who are genuinely interested in learning, and they're there to ask questions and get hands-on.
Right. What do you find the best way is to keep attention? Are you like breaking groups up that you find are sidebar conversationing and like saying, hey man, like you go do this? Or
So with this last training, I did a little bit of both. Broke them up into a couple of different groups, and that depends on the class size that I'm giving. If we can do it all in one, then we'll do it in one group. But I don't want to leave anybody out of this and just have 4, 5, 6 people standing to the side while the rest of them are doing all the work. So this last boot camp that we did with SAS, broke them up into 2 groups. Kind of gave everybody instructions beforehand, and then split them up, had them do the installation. There for basically tech support if they needed it, if they had any questions on anything. Meanwhile, I'm answering questions from the other group that's not involved yet.
Nice. I love it. Okay, well, what would be a general timeline for somebody who is pretty much brand new into the operator world to be able to go out with another person and do this efficiently?
For an installation or for the training?
Like the installation aspect, like 6 months, 8 months.
Be able to do it efficiently? I would say 3 to 6 months, and a lot of that depends on their skill level going into it, how much they actually want to learn versus how much they just want to do their job and get a paycheck and get home. So the guys who are interested in this industry and take a genuine interest in what they're installing and how to make things better, I think those guys could easily get a handle on it in 3 months, maybe less.
Absolutely. That's awesome, man. That is That's really cool. Do you prefer people with automation experience, or do you prefer to kind of teach them the right way and never to learn the wrong way with no experience?
Um, I would take a mixture of those two. So I would like to get
Mixture.
people in my class who have 5 to 10 years experience, ideally, and kind of direct them where to go from there. Even if I can get brand new people, I don't mind training them from the ground up. But
Right,
people
right.
are easier if they know the basics, and a lot of it comes down to terminology.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Knowing what like different things are called is a big thing, because I'm the same way, man. I like hiring a good mixture of guys with no experience and guys with pretty good experience in the uh, or in the like fence insulation world. But having those like brand new greenhorns, whenever I'm like, hey, go get me a rail tie, or go get me a U-channel, and they're like, what is that? I'm like, oh man, I forgot I have to explain this to you.
Yeah,
So, but I do like that because, we can teach them all the right ways and none of the wrong ways. But I also like the guys who have experience that are open-minded and willing to learn and not just be stuck in my way is the only way to do it. Type mindset. I do like that.
absolutely. I mean, those guys are going to be the ones that are the most efficient at what they do. Um, if they've got an open mind to trying new things and new ways of doing the old things, that's how you're going to come up with your best guys on a job.
Heck yeah. All right. Susan says, but Fence University plans to have him at some training events too. You excited
Yep.
about that?
Yeah. So we haven't nailed down a date yet with Michael Brooks, but we have been discussing that with him, and that's something else that we're probably going to be announcing next year.
Nice, nice, nice. I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for them to expand to the regular install world, as I call it, um, and like start doing some actual like wood, vinyl, aluminum, chain link, wrought iron, all that stuff. I'm excited to see where the Fence University goes.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great thing for the industry. What Brian and
Hmm.
everybody has been doing over there is really something that we've needed for a while. So I'm excited to see where we go with it.
Yeah, same here. Same here. Um, Hit us straight to what can go. What are some of the biggest things that can go wrong in the installation process of an operator, and how can you fix them affordably and efficiently at the same time?
So with our operator, two of the biggest things that can go wrong is not following the dimensions that are given for installation of the operator. The only reason that's critical is where it meets with the rag gear on the gate. You've got 3 or 4 inches you can move that thing up and down, but we've had people who get it right on the very top, and it ends up wearing out the teeth on the rag gear prematurely. So it may be 5 years down the road before we figure it out. But once we do, we've got to go in and change some dimensions, either try to move the operator down, move the rag gear up, and that can be an issue. The biggest issue that I see is wiring. Uh, People not taking time to do wiring correctly. If they have to extend wires out, making sure that they are sealed, that they're protected somehow. You can put them in a junction box, that's fine. But then when you bury that junction box underground, it's just going to fill up with water. So they come to me 6 months or a year later and have all kinds of issues that we got to spend an hour trying to troubleshoot before they tell me what's going on.
And is that just them not knowing any better?
I think a lot of it is, people think that putting things inside a junction box, everything is sealed and that everything's going to be protected. Uh, as well as I do, especially around here in Florida, that's never the case. Anything you put ground level or below is going to wind up with water in it.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
I think it's people trying to make their installations look the best they can by putting a junction box kind of out of sight, out of mind, and just not knowing any better.
Right. Yeah, man. One of the things that I was taught, because I ran a lot of conduit in my time, like away from Pensacola, like when I lived up in like Southern Maryland, I was an electrician apprentice, so I ran a whole lot of conduit. And one of the biggest things I was always taught is just, don't ever put them underground. Like, make them look nice, but just keep them above ground and just make them look nice. And that was always kind of thing that stuck with me, because it doesn't matter if they say that they're waterproof, they're not actually waterproof at the end of the day.
No. And I mean, that sounds good. And for you guys doing electric work, y'all can do that. With us doing low voltage, and for what people pay for a gate system, if you had all your conduit above ground, you would have a livid homeowner.
Right. I mean, I hear that. I I guess that really shows about how much I don't know about the gate operator world.
It's a lot of it, again, comes down to experience.
Right.
These people pay $30,000 or more for a gate system, and they spend, I don't know, $1 million on a house, and they want their entryway just right and everything. And then we come in, and the first thing we do is dig up their yard that they paid for landscaping and everything else to go in, dig it up, have a bunch of dirt and conduit and concrete and everything else on there. So better you can make it look when you leave, the happier they're going to be.
Right. Man, I feel that. All right, Susan wants to know, is Rotary open to go on site and helping someone install their operator for the first install?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's one thing that we've offered since just about day one, is with this being kind of a different idea than what people are used to, not having a concrete pad to mount down to, mounting this thing to your gate post and having to make sure your dimensions for that versus your rack gear on the gate being critical. We do offer on-site consultation. So sell a job, get the operator, and it'll usually be me, not always, but usually it'll be me coming out to the job site to help you out with your first one.
Nice. And since it's all pretty much Spanish to me, will you run us down a like product list of all the different type of operators that you guys offer?
Yeah. So we actually make more than just operators, but we'll start with that. So we have the SLC-RD, which is the slide gate commercial rack and pinion drive. And then we've also got that in an industrial version for heavier gates. So your commercial operator will be a 35-foot opening and 1,500-pound gate. Your industrial operator rack and pinion would be good for a 45-foot opening and a 2,500-pound gate. And then we also have both of those models in a chain drive. Part numbers for those would be like an SLC-CD for chain drive and I-CD for industrial.
Okay.
So those are the four operators we have available now. We also have truck assemblies for cantilever slide gates, which are just the truck assemblies that go inside the enclosed track. I'm sure you've seen them before. A lot of people listening in may not have. I know a lot of the country still does V-track, but we offer the truck assemblies that fit most of your popular styles of track. They all have a lifetime warranty on them. So what I tell everybody is 10 years from now, if any of the bearings or anything fails on it, as long as it didn't get hit by a truck or sit underwater for 6 months, then send it to us. We'll either rebuild it or replace it at no charge.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of those. So I actually know what you're talking about on that one. But yeah, man, if it doesn't get hit by a car.
That's the biggest thing. I had to throw in the sitting underwater because I got a box of them back from a customer in South Florida, and some of them actually had barnacles growing on it. They had a hurricane come through the previous year, and we're just getting around to replacing them. So had to throw in that, no, these won't be covered.
Yeah, right. I don't think we can like accept barnacles as a warranty issue.
Yeah.
I mean, you can break them off and I'll use them for fish bait though. I'm down with that.
There you go. I'll start sending them to you.
Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Oh, all right. Let's see what is next. Product line. All right, so I saw you on the My Defense Life thing, and y'all were talking about pounding posts.
Right.
Are you a believer in it being pounded for gate operators?
I'm open to it, but I'm not a believer as of today.
Okay. And
So,
I know you were wanting to drive just an like an aluminum post. Are you just talking about just a regular like commercial grade like 4-inch aluminum post?
so yeah, what we always used for hanging our gates, whether it was swing or slide, is a 4-inch square, quarter wall thick
Yeah.
aluminum post. So that's what I would like to try.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to see if Sean can make an adapter for that, or if
I sent him a message after your training that I went to last week. If he can't, we've got a full machine shop, so I can.
okay, because I know we can get some things made for that.
Okay.
I'm interested to see if that'll work because I know those like thick wall commercial grade gate posts are pretty heavy duty, and
Yeah.
I would imagine they would be able to be drove, and then if anything, we would have to cut the top inch off if it got mushroomed or something.
Right. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So aluminum will mushroom out. We'd have to do
Mm-hmm.
the adapter for the driver correctly. But if we have
Right.
to cut the top of it off, that's for now, just for testing. I want to see what we can do with those drivers that you have. Again, I was
Yeah.
pretty impressed with those things.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And you missed on Friday. I don't know if you caught it in the video, but on one of those corner posts for the vinyl job, it was root bound in a crepe myrtle tree. So we just cut it off
Oh,
at the at ground level. I tried using that bit, but it was cut. It was cut at like an angle, and the bit didn't want to start. And after about 3-4 minutes, we got about 2 inches down, and I said, just go give me the driver, and I drove straight through that old like wood post. I was pretty impressed with myself because I was
man.
like, man, I don't know if this is gonna work, but it worked. It went straight through the old wood post. It hit the concrete slug and kind of bottomed out for 20-30 seconds, and then once it broke through that concrete slug, it just went. So I do think with longer posts, I do think that we could probably set up something and try it. That would be fun. That would be real fun.
Oh, we're gonna make it happen. Susan had
Yeah.
mentioned to Sean doing it on like demo days uh, at the fence show. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens there. But if we can't do it there, then we'll definitely have to get it on video. You and I doing it back here in Florida.
Absolutely. Susan is asking a question. Aren't y'all releasing a new operator at the fence show? Are you?
Yes. Yeah. So
Is that top
touched
secret?
on it. Do what?
Is that top secret?
No. So I
Okay.
actually announced it on the My Fence Life podcast a couple of weeks ago. Touched on it a little bit earlier when you were doing your introduction, but we have had slide gates reliably installed and backed, by a combination of over 70 years in the gate industry. But we've pretty much just focused on slide gates. So at the fence show, we will be releasing a swing gate that'll mount the same
Nice.
directly to the post. And I think everybody's going to be a little excited and pretty surprised to see what we came out with.
Heck yeah, man. I'm excited. Well, we're going to take a quick minute and 45-second break, and we're going to run a commercial, and we'll be right back. All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, Billy.
Mhm.
National Metal Industries, a family-owned business for 70-plus years, has grown to be recognized for their ability to deliver on not just privacy slats for fence, but all types of fence products. National Metal Industries has all the hardware and tools to get the fence professional in and out of their job with the most ease possible. You can count on National Metal Industries for the most convenient resources in fence products. Visit nmifence.com for more information. As we like to say, you can always pick it right at National. Welcome to the Fence and Deck Agency, where we build fencing websites that homeowners and contractors love. We specialize in winning the trust of homeowners, and we do this by positioning you as the fencing experts in your service areas. We follow our proven framework, which we've branded as the ultimate Fence and Deck website blueprint, where we get homeowners to like, know, and trust you. Teaming up with the Fence and Deck Agency will help you dominate your local market, and we'll build a website you'll be proud of. The link to get started is in the podcast description.
All right, guys, and like the commercial said, the link to get started is in the podcast description below. And if you do, what they're offering right now is like Zishan is offering a free, fully mocked up, not like a 25% mock-up webpage of like how it might look, a like 100% mock-up. If you don't like it, you can walk away. If you like it, you can do it on the like agreed price set. Obviously, you're going to add like tiers and things like that for your website. So go to the link, do that. When you purchase the website, you'll get 3 months free of SEO services. Worth its weight in gold by far. Great company, great dude. Go check him out. Link is in the description below. Segue into that. Dan, my old host, is going to be doing some media management for me here in the next couple weeks. He's got all of the nice, like super nice computers and all that stuff. And I no longer have a way to edit videos at the moment. So what we're going to be doing, he's going to have my intro, and we're going to fix the commercial for Mr. Mike at National Metal Industries next week. But he's going to be doing some background work, and if you've been with us for the 39 episodes, you'll like remember Dan. Great guy. He's got his own YouTube channel now as a Triumph motorcycle mechanic. Great stuff, guys. I'll be dropping that link because we're just going to be scratching each other's backs in the next week. Whenever he finishes that for me. And then you won't have to stare at my face just looking at the computer or looking at my notes whenever I run my intro. So it'll be back to normal next week. All right. Quick shout out to National Metal Industries. Thank you guys for sponsoring the show. All right. You mentioned that you're going to be doing some stuff at demo days. You got me intrigued because even as a demo days ambassador, and I talk to Susan 2 or 3 times a week, I have not heard about this. I'm intrigued. What do you got up your sleeve for like demo days?
So with this being the first year of demo days, I'm not real sure what kind of a crowd we're going to expect and everything. I'm sure given what Susan and Brian and Mike over there do with everything they touch, it's going to be great. But what we're going to be doing for this year is just what you and I discussed, simple training for the operator and getting an automatic gate going from the start.
Oh, wow. You're going to be doing that at demo days?
Yeah. Yep.
What time? And I say what time, I am stretched super thin at the show. So if it's going to fit in my 30-minute break, I want to come see that.
Well, I believe the demo days is on Tuesday, so the show doesn't start until Wednesday.
Right.
So from setup, I will be out there the majority of the day.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to be working demo days, and I'm also going to be working in the like Mr. Fitz Academy booth or whatever booth Sean has me working on Tuesday.
Okay.
So that's why I was kind of curious to like kind of see what time you're planning on doing this like gate operator thing, because I want to kind of slide by and see that firsthand. That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. So if the boot camps that we've done is kind of an indication of time frame, each breakdown and reinstallation takes somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour, depending on, again, the skill level of the people doing it and questions and answers and going through everything. So I'd like to do at least a few of them on demo days.
Well,
If
hey
we can
man, that
squeeze
helps
in
me up
4, that'd
like
be
a
great.
whole lot, because if I know if it's every 30 minutes to an hour, I can kind of I'm like schedule that around my little 30-minute to an hour break.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, man. So right before we went to the commercial break, Mr. Keith Pace, he was at a Texarkana, he says we pound all of our gate operator posts. That's awesome. And do
Okay.
you, Keith, if you're still watching, do you even pound the aluminum ones? And I'm talking about like the ones that like we just talked about, the like 4-inch like thick wall posts, because that would be pretty cool to know. Because
That'd be pretty interesting.
if you're already doing it, I want some tips and tricks. So
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I can see you doing it for like chain link and stuff like that, because it's just easier at the end of the day, and it's way deeper and it's virgin soil. But I'm really interested like in the aluminum, because that seems to be where a lot of the like major work is.
Yeah, and down here along the Gulf Coast, anywhere in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. As far as I know there are some exceptions to this, but most people try to use aluminum just because the steel
Mhm.
doesn't hold up. It's going to rust through even your galvanized post. So
Yeah.
most of the people that I've talked to, even in South Florida, they do aluminum gate posts and mostly aluminum gates as well. So if you can drive aluminum gate posts like that, man, you're talking cutting your time on site down a lot. Not to mention the back breaking, digging the holes, mixing, picking up 80-pound bags of concrete, things like that. Like
Oh,
I'd love to see it.
oh yeah, man. You ain't gotta tell me, bro. Today, and I almost forgot about this on my how was my day. I gotta do a real quick like go back. Mr. Mike Moore, man. I know you don't watch the like podcast every day, but I even texted you today, bro. I have a whole newfound respect for you. If anybody knows me and they really know me, like in the fence world, they'll know chain link is not my favorite. It's not that I'm not good at it. It's just not my favorite thing to do. I would rather install a wood or a vinyl fence any day, every day. Um, that being said, my commercial chain link experience is almost little to none. Okay. Well, I got my teeth kicked in today with an 8+1 like commercial fence. And boy, I got a whole new level of respect for you, man. I got to be real with you, because the amount of chain link fence that you put in at that height is ungodly, and that kicked my behind today. So quick little segue on that, man. And whew, good Lord, I was worn out on the way home.
Yeah, anybody who can do chain link like that, I'm going to give them my respect to it because I've done it a few times and I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, man. It's just I don't hate it. It's just not my favorite. It's my least favorite to install. And then when you add on the like commercial aspect of it being heavy, and we weren't using a fence hog or anything, bro. We had to pick that stuff up by hand, and I was like,
Oh,
oh
good
my
Lord.
god. I was like, this is heavy. This is some heavy stuff.
Jeez.
But we got them pinned up for the night, and we'll go back and we'll get them all completely buttoned up in the morning. So I'm
Nice.
completely happy about that. But
How many feet was that?
it was like, this is embarrassing. It was like 80, 90 feet of tear out and rebuild, and we hit concrete slugs on every single old post. I think they just cut them off, and we only had a limited like amount of posts. So there was no offsetting and adding more posts. So where it fell, and we were busting up slugs that were probably twice as big as my torso.
Oh, holy crap!
So that took up a lot of time. But
Yeah.
once we got everything cleaned out and we got those holes filled with fresh concrete, we just drove straight through it. And like I said, man, we got them all pinned up for the day, so that way nobody can access it. Because of course it was at a post office, and we couldn't leave until it was completely secured.
Of course.
But we'll go button it up tomorrow and knock it out and go on like to a new one. And
Nice.
That's just kind of the name of the game right there.
Yeah, that's not bad for a day's work.
No, not at all. Especially after you drop off one crew, you get picked up. You're on a Zoom call for an hour. You're trying to balance the Zoom call between, no, that doesn't go on that truck. This goes on that truck. That goes on that truck. And so we also got a late start. We didn't get there till like 10:30, 11 o'clock. It was almost lunchtime whenever we got there. So it really wasn't a bad day considering all the challenges that we had to go through. To at least have the fabric up and pinned up and not completely stretched and tied off, but it's up to where like nobody can like get in for the night.
Yeah. Well, that's a good deal.
Heck yeah.
So, you mentioned putting fresh concrete in those. Do y'all go in and drive them down and then put fresh concrete, or was this old school digging the holes and repouring?
So what we do is whenever we're driving, we're only like accounting for the holes that we have to pull. Okay, so we call those key posts, i.e. corners, start points, end points. And what we'll do is we'll pull those posts, and when we pull them, we just fill the old hole with concrete and we pack it like we would do a dry pack fence. We just take the vibrator and just run it down and just compact it, and then we'll drive through that compacted concrete, fill it back with dirt, and then we call it a day. Because if we would just to drive in a open hole, putting the concrete in there afterwards is good, and like getting it packed is good. But what's really awesome is if you can drive some concrete up inside of that pole, and then it gets hard as well. So that's why we do that, and it makes for a pretty seamless operation at the end of the day. You don't got to do anything crazy. You don't have to offset or like cantilever rails over to houses or anything like that just because you couldn't pull the post, because that is the only downside of the no dig is on replacements. If you pull all those posts and you're not digging, you have no dirt to fill those holes up with.
Right.
Yep. Lots of new guys who are used to the old school like dig and set method are used to pulling posts, and I was a victim as well. My first couple jobs, I pulled the posts and we got done, and I was like, man, there's no dirt to fill these holes. I was like, we didn't dig anything. There's no dirt to fill all of these holes. And so after that, we just started, cutting them and just pulling the ones that we had to, and like filling those holes with concrete, like and just running with it.
Okay, nice.
But besides demo days, like you guys have a booth inside the show as well?
Yeah, we do. So we're going to be, just as you come in the main door, look to the right, we're going to be in booth 805.
Nice.
Yep.
Are you going to be stuck working the booth the whole time, or are you going to hit any of those education courses?
I'm going to try to hit some of the educational courses. The Gate Safety Summit, I'm going to have to take some time because I'm going to be the one presenting that.
There we go.
Yeah. So just going back to, again, education and the changes in our industry with the automated gates now. The more we can educate people about UL and ASTM and the requirements and everything, better off everybody's going to be. So volunteered for that last year. and volunteered for it again this year. I'm going to go ahead and put that on for Brian and Susan.
Can you just give us a very brief, quick rundown of the like UL changes? Because I kind of know them, and I'm sure our viewers kind of know them as well. But
yeah, so your UL changes all have to do with the electronics that run your gate. You have to have 2 monitored safety or obstruction devices in each direction. Most gate operators, actually, I think at this point, all of them have at least one built into the circuit board. That it's your inherent reversing device and uses some method to detect when it's hit an obstruction, whether that's a person or a car or whatever. And instead of just driving into it, it has to back up and lock itself out. You can add an additional one of those. Actually, I think we have to have 1 contact and 1 non-contact now. Right after 2016, we could do 2 of the same type. So an example of a non-contact sensor would be like a photo eye, something that you can break the beam, but the gate doesn't actually have to physically touch something.
Right.
So those were the major changes in 2016. We had some updates to it in 2018, but for the most part, as far as installing dealers are concerned, not a huge change. Biggest thing that I get from people is the ASTM changes, which is the actual building and installing of the gate on site, the changes that have to be made there. So you've got to have all your gaps on a gate closed into 2 1/4 inches or less. Anything where it draws into like a gate post, you've got to have that protected either again by closing that gap into 2 1/4 inches or less, or by an electronic device, whether that's a safety edge, a photo eye, something like that. You've got to have all your stuff cut down where nobody can get their arm, hand, finger, something like that drawn in and broken, cut off, injured, maimed. It also sets rules for your height of your barbed wire or razor wire, what kind of an opening around the gate or operator constitutes an obstruction device, which is anything between about 4 inches to 16 inches. So anything over 16 inches is not considered necessarily an entrapment zone. Anything less than 4 has special rules that go along with it. So.
Okay. And now, how has that impacted the installers? Are they having to purchase more things and charge the clients more? Or are they having to to do more work? And how has it been accepted by that?
So yeah, installers do have to buy some more equipment. It can be electronic. A lot of it has to be electronic. Some of it can be just steel or aluminum plates. So it doesn't have to be expensive electronic equipment that you have to buy and install. 2016, there was a huge uproar about it. People were fighting it. A lot of people didn't like it. There was a real big push to get acceptance in the industry in 2018 to 2020. And more people started accepting the fact that, for one, it's not going anywhere. You pretty much have to abide by it. Louisiana changing their laws to require it and have inspections and require licensing and everything through dealers helped with that some. But we've seen a more broad acceptance of it as people understand why it's being done the way it's done. There's no, aside from a couple of states right now, all of this stuff was done in our industry with industry experts. And the main focus of it is safety. There's been several articles and unfortunately videos that I've seen of children and even grown adults who get hurt, injured, killed, put in the hospital due to things that could have been prevented on site. Now, all of this isn't to say that 99% of automatic gates that have gone in prior to these requirements changing were unsafe. I think everybody does the best they can to make sure that their gate's not going to, fall over and injure somebody.
Right.
But the thinking was, if we do it in our industry first, you self-police, you keep government agencies from coming in and forcing it on you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, so I heard you say licensing through different companies. Is that something that you guys offer, like as well?
No, so the manufacturers, we don't do the licensing in Louisiana specifically, and they're working on it in Texas and Mississippi, and they've touched on it in Florida, but we don't have a bill in our Congress right now. So they have to get licensed. Their company rather has to get licensed through the fire marshal service over there to make sure.
Okay, I thought you were saying that they were like a licensed installer of rotary gate systems, i.e., or lift master. Like that's what I was.
No.
Okay, I got you. I got you.
Yeah. All this stuff goes through the state governments, and again, Louisiana goes through their fire department. Not sure if Texas is going to follow suit with that, or if they're going to have their own branch or just a different branch.
Now, is this something that you have to have like inspected afterwards by like a fire marshal or a code enforcement officer?
Technically, in Louisiana, you are. In Florida, you don't right now. They are again working on potentially doing that in the next few years. But
Okay.
yeah, it's in Louisiana, you are supposed to have it inspected. You can also have random drive-by inspections where they stop at either your current. Hey Shane, how you doing? Either your current job you're working at, or they can stop by any of your previous jobs to see if it complies with the rules and regulations.
Awesome. Well, hey man, we're about to like come up on time. If you got any closing thoughts for everybody watching?
No, I don't think so. If y'all are coming out to Las Vegas, make sure you stop in and see us. Again, we're in booth 805, and we'll be out at demo days. Stop in and see Billy and Sean at the Fence King booth. You guys are going to be driving some post out there, right?
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I'm going to be running a 2-part clinic on Monday. We're going to do wood and vinyl. I can't remember which one's first, which one's second. But
Okay.
that's neither here nor there. But we're going to be driving posts. We're going to do like 50, 60 feet of each. And we'll have, I think we're going to have 3 or 4 different drivers out there for people to test and to try out at my clinic. But of course, at demo days, there's going to be whatever manufacturers, and there's a lot of manufacturers that have booths outside. So come to demo days, come see booth 805, come see me, go see Shane, and let's rock it out. Let's have a fun time, right?
Absolutely. And if you guys have not seen them drive the post yet, I'm telling you, I've been in this industry, and I've done fence, ornamental fence, and gates for over 20 years now. And I was very impressed with it. I think you will be too. So go out there and check it out, and you'll be sold.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you for that. All right, buddy. Well, hey man, we gotta actually like sit down and have lunch, and and not be like in the middle of like training and running a job at the same time.
Yeah. Let me know when you're free. We got 3 weeks until the fence show.
We got 3 weeks into the fence show, so let's do it.
Okay, let's make it happen.
All right, man. Well, hey man, thank you so much for coming on, guys. And y'all go check out Rotary Gate Systems. Y'all ship like across the U.S.
Yeah. We ship across the country all the way to Hawaii is our furthest dealer. So.
Heck yeah, guys. Y'all go check out some Rotary Gate Systems. And Mr. Shane Jones, thank you so much for coming on, man. And I look forward to talking to you in the upcoming week. All right?
Sounds good. Thanks, Billy.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. All right, guys. Awesome show. I learned a lot. I have no clue about the whole gate operator world. I just kind of know the very gist of it just from like being friends with Susan and watching Brian and doing his things, but lots of knowledge being dropped. Like he said, go check out booth 805 if you're going to the fence show. That is going to be Rotary Gate Systems. Go see Mr. Shane Jones. Go see what they have to offer. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. And with that said, guys, y'all have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. And we'll be here same time next week. We got an awesome guest lined up. Can't wait. It's going to be a great show. And man, y'all go and stay hydrated, kick some ass, take care of your team +1. All right. Later, guys.